Champions League home come.
Sure.
And come on Gabi the interesting power.
Yeah.
Deloitte for table of clubs no revenue.
Yeah.
I say makubo na pesa meka.
Any day.
Se wunya revenue bebre no nchire se wo ska. Eno nchire se omoto. Ni ze nyame ka ati ase. Obi wa boka, adibosia. Eno dia ye nyoma bi. Ebi ani mo dey club ko party ko dis say no nkwa. Or the two players be no so auto.
Why ye na so voice no actually kakra.
Okay.
Me say me ma ko fia na ni la pe oni na. Ya to so di amam nshawanzo 4.5 bit me do message no aba awo YouTube Nsha TV. Na ya kenkan dia ma ye be review kakra of the UEFA Champions League and 9 matches na ye boy nti obetimi do message no aba na ya kenkan Eddie, I'm a say, I think it's okay.
You see, Obi Wonma, Abobisian. It is any pan.
Is it Barcelona?
See, you have to say, if you need about club. But exactly Barcelona. So, if Barcelona revenue comes to me, Casse, the Agabi can end crazy. Okay, now Barca have money.
Not Tom leverage.
It be on what the cat. It's revenue, no, and co Barca for accounting. Obi to Tiaka, they build to Tiaka. Numbers of we, I don't almost say Magay about that. Magay 20 million. Also, and Bassa, you've already say Bassa, Slavia Prague. Corner kick, defend the Bassa team defend it.
Because defense in it.
Rich.
First 10 minutes, no match of first goal.
No, almost that Femi Lopez Cocotti said, no must have a ticker. Rich, you see, and yet 2 goals near showing the Chelsea Bassa defense near. Bassa doesn't have a good defense. Somebody can pull up data superficially and come and tell me say Barca keep it clean sheet. But every Barcelona fan show Barca himself Barca's clean sheet count down to 1 Garcia. Maybe I just want to share Espanyol match nibi. Maybe I just want to share Sociedad match nibi. Maybe I just want to share Athletic Club de Bilbao match nibi. Barca strength is not the defense, it's the brilliance of the goalkeeper. Yes, in the extension of the argument, somebody can say that he's part of the defense. But on a day where the best player or goalkeeper are worrying for the team, there is no defensive leader in that Barcelona team. If Barca had enough revenue or after say or revenue if you can be money at the other, Barca probably will invest in a centre back. And yes, what can say the Barca
that Osha Barca team critically
the defense the
defense no problem.
You say no say analysis and say Barca strength to do well score you.
Yeah. Because so many money yeah
solid.
Exactly.
Rich Ukokobo against Slavia Prague. To be very honest, you say Barca boys to be a black gloves. And now in Europe, that was the coldest game. Apparently in Prague, it was sub-zero, -3-4. In fact, the Czechish league almost stopping for 2 months now because of adverse weather conditions. So the weather was wild. But in all of that, the defensive performance of Barca on the night was worrying for me. Sherich, and then, so we catch him and say, between Madrid and Barca, who had the better chance of winning the Champions League this season? Who are you choosing?
Between Real Madrid
and Barcelona, who has a better chance of winning the Champions League this season? Who are you choosing?
Maybe Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Because Barca team now, you see, so almost share team be antina much more simple.
Yeah.
Barca share team be a ultimate ball.
Yeah.
Na some spaces that pockets of spaces no to me utilizing
not converting the chances are
simple.
They may not stand them. And in the Champions League quarter final, round of 16, semi-final, you will meet the big boys.
But you could share PSG
which push your PSV end of him. But one should be easy for you. Push your PSV end of him. It may not be easy for you. If you meet Newcastle again over 2 legs, it may not be straightforward for Barcelona to go on unqualified. And for me, aside all the defensive issues, this animal, the Barca has just one job: win the game. That is why I've highlighted the issue of Barca defending. But the most important thing on the night was Barca to get 3 points, because now it has given them 13 points, same on point with about 5 clubs. What it means is that Barca in the last game will fear against Copenhagen. It's a game that, although there's going to be the absence of Pedri, a better friend Frankie de Jong from suspension, maybe Lamine Yamal will be back. Most likely he's going to be back inside game. But the two midfielders at Barca, still you expect Barca will stay at home and get a job done against Copenhagen. And now I was disappointed, honestly. With 2 goals now, almost share from set place. I was very much disappointed. But the most important thing is that Barca managed to win the game by 4-2, which only international Chelsea if one wanted to pay record fee for such a boy for Femi Lopez. The boy is good. Look at the equalizer. The tight angle. Very good player.
What do you say about now? Man, go no share.
Nicholas, I mean, he's a quality.
On say, I'm the camera not call the other angle. No, this tight angle. And I rented it to be ball the channel.
After the game, journalists could be Hansi Taflex say, wait and Chelsea for the pen. Say,
Femi Lopez running ball ball.
Tony Momuda or a Barca player.
The guy is solid.
Very, very good player. On a night like that, Barca got a job done. And he has 10 goals, 10 assists in all competitions this season. When Lewandowski, Rafinha, Lamine Yamal is absent, of course, Lewandowski scored in the second half there. But of course, our brand friend Femi Lopez stood up. I think Barca would have to work on the defense issues now and then go into the UCL knockout stages. The only sad news now, but you remember Barca win was when our brand friend Pedri a clutching onto the hamstring, Hansi Dieter Flick. This was his reaction because when he said he's serious CM out of the game, Yami Aduma next week. However, the most important thing is the win. Marseille keep on blowing hot and cold, and which Szoboszlai is a very good set piece taker.
Marseille moment blow hot and cold. Isn't it not the Liverpool team?
No, but also we agree that Marseille for some of the games, some ball,
but the government no catch them say.
Yeah.
Say Liverpool team we, what the Premier League ne judge am wrong.
Yeah.
Because in the Champions League, a different animal.
Yeah.
And a stellar performance.
Very good performance.
3-0.
And it came from a brilliant set piece play. My right friend Domenico Szoboszlai. Which you know, sometimes in football, certain techniques we sort of describe it in a way say you and I say you don't need intelligence to be able to get that. And one of them is what Szoboszlai has. Also a shot, a very good ball striking ability. Usually so most of the balls that people don't accord him that respect that he has to get from the technical strength to be able to execute those balls. But when you look at the free kick, Marseille for not to wall, having the intelligence to know that the wall will jump and then patiently sliding the ball under the wall and then getting inside goal for me just highlighted the intelligence and the cognitive strength of our brand here, your friend Domenico Szoboszlai. And I wasn't surprised. So she go to your coach touchline or then inside China James Massa, we know a dream there, and then he got a job done and now Mohamed Salah and the team and this was the celebration. This was the free kick. Just when the world and said will be a nasty and a ball on the far one say pay. Then he went onto the corner line and did this. So that is exactly the brilliance that you need to be able to execute that. And now he was the man of the match performance. The whole of the Liverpool team, Mohamed Salah was back and delivered some nice football as well for team and friend Liverpool. This season Champions League. I was disappointed in Bayern and now they missed the penalty.
That's how much you do.
Rich.
Red card.
Rich. Why is a Kofi Kessiemo? Bayern over 2.5. Bayern over 1.5. You fear. Bayern over 2.5. You get the penalty and you miss it. But for them, only efficacy community. That's why your coach needs to protect invest in that and this can Harry Kane and let the Bayern team 2 goals in the 52nd minute and 55th minute making it 2-0 for team friend Bayern Munich and making sure say they will not finish any lower than 4th or Champions League game. Then at home, Liam Rosenier's first game in the Champions League. Nani Papa to stand him. Leroy Rosenior, which at age 16 thereabouts. Okay, Liam Rosenior did 41. It means that Nani Papa will be somewhere around 60, right? Will you count it a blessing if you get to watch your son at age 41 coaching in the Champions League? I thought that was a very proud
team. Yeah,
Chelsea. And the very first time, Ujina dug out. He's rich. Nani Papa is black.
Okay.
Liam is probably a second generation English person. Ne papa na bread from Sierra Leone or Bababo, England or Noba. He is more of brown mixture of the two. And you could tell that the father was proud. But it wasn't easy for Liam. For me, again.
Was it ne papa ne proud?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, coach Chelsea.
Yeah. The first Champions League after 4 games. After 4 games.
I'm proud of coach Chelsea. I doubt obedi be 2 months ago Chelsea. Wait.
Oh.
Kofi wait.
I didn't see him, Mr.
Oh. No about ball wa when
Oh, yesterday's performance was not about ball.
You see about what?
And then we were saying me say Chelsea fans. Rich some I need
defend am into.
No, you see again, over start here kosa honey be.
Benko baby.
So don't say those things. But Rich, me know we Gina several times. Chelsea fans about Chelsea and then Maresca. About both for Fefe. Elusu 2-1. Elusu 1-0. About 1-1. And you Chelsea fans sending message also
against him, Ben.
Brentford, Brighton. Also not top teams. Teams any team let's say Chelsea lose to them. Sunderland, Chelsea but Sunderland 2-1.
Brentford, Brighton.
Yeah, Brentford, Chelsea go 2-2.
Brighton, Brighton, na be perform simple.
You see, again, that's what I'm saying. So Okoko no draw honum. Na say so mo be perform na the new coach abano wasa. Why do we say wasa? We need to be very careful in situating the conversation.
Yeah.
And yes, sir. You constantly at Chelsea here, you constantly be saying, oh, we're Nhyira, and I'm sure I'm honestly speaking. Because the same thing that Angel Maresca here at Chelsea first complain. The same thing I was saying was about Oye. And no about resumes on Fifi, over one. And I want to start yesterday, over one. So you see, and yeah, adding in Libya, sometimes people have to understand that football and getting to the top is a process. Me, I like where Rosenior is coming from. And I saw about 3 things in what Rosenior here now. I think that it's on the right step. 1, the ball movement is faster than Enzo Maresca. Usually, Maresca style of play number 2 was a pa. But Rosenior wants a lot more movement and rotation for them to play quicker. In our audience, a performance as a drawer. It gives them the chance to be able to play in the Champions League knockout stage. He won't do that. It was always going to be difficult. The mission for the night is get 3 points. Just like the Barcelona game. When your 3 points are going to Napoli becomes more difficult for you. Second half of Chelsea battle, the tempo increases. The second thing I like about Rosenier's style of play. There is more tempo. You press, you counter press quicker, you win the ball quick. Sanimano. Every Chelsea fan. And they can't say, Chelsea has only match ball. Maybe one day, and some call their Chelsea for open nominee ball, and you won't like it. Sometimes it becomes unprintable words. But again, if you watch the game and you look at the tempo, how he wanted to cross quicker, you say, okay, fine. It's a difficult game. Second half, it took a brighter friend Moses Caicedo to make the difference. The truth is that he will need a much more improved performance away from home when you go and play against Napoli. When Napoli are called Naples, you need to play better. You need to create better chances. That's why you're more effective. In the first half, Jarrell had to move in a chance based on commercial went in and share. And 100 Garnacho. Me, I'm not excited about Garnacho. I've always been saying, and there were good chances that he got. I thought he should have buried. He couldn't do that. But it's just 4 games under Liam Rosenior. Until started a new coach with 4 games and can say, oh, Nyansen, he is not good enough. You need to wait to be able to have enough data to say it's a player or yeah. It took a Moses Caicedo or see Cole Palmer there. He's resting him for the weekend. Newcastle stayed at home, did a job against PSV and Dover. Rich, if you go to Tyneside, you can be the Dutch champions. You can be the Turkish champion. But they will beat you with physicality in any day. Intensity. And I had no doubt in my mind. It was probably the only game that all throughout the slips I was confident that Newcastle would beat PSV for. It is not a Liverpool kind of PSV Liverpool, then you get to play a great chance against them. No, they will be much more aggressive. You are playing out from the back. And now share the second goal now, Newcastle Anthony goal they got share. It was playing out from the back mistake. Newcastle pressed them with very good intensity. Then Abrante from Yuan Wesa kicked the ball into the path of Abrante from goal, and then they managed to score that second goal later on in the game in the second half. Harvey Barnes, Emmanuel, 3-0. Our Champions League game. I was surprised by the Juventus game. at Versi team, my friend Benfica, they won by 2-0, which now Athletic Club, Pani, Atalanta, only Atalanta go here.
Football.
Atalanta, Chelsea, Abawa, China, they say Athletic Club now.
About team.
Be
actually no actually.
I'm not calling Sasha
for the Champions League. No money back.
Only Villarreal.
I'm just Villarreal. And Napoli. Se Conte ne kuto ma. What now to home power Atlanta.
I was surprised. Yeah, 73-2. Exactly it. But there was history in Karabakh. I don't know if you've heard the story, but Karabakh for officially have qualified for the playoffs of the Champions League, and they did it against no smaller team than Frankfurt. It's a team that they managed to get that job done, and it was very, very exciting. So, Rich, after the match day 7, this is the table. Why never go into the top 8? You know? When you look at, considering that Barca, Sporting, Man City, Atleti, Atalanta, only now 13 points.
Yes, I can say one match.
One match, mate. The trick is that Paris Saint-Germain and Newcastle remember last match.
Okay.
Away and Paris. Manchester City, any Galatasaray Bobo.
Okay.
Arsenal Bobo game Ufi.
So no already qualified that.
Bayern friend say no, not Bayern. Barcelona Bobo Ufi against Copenhagen. Okay. Chelsea will go away to Napoli.
I'm in coffee Bobo playoff.
Unless Chelsea can go away to Napoli,
the until was Richardo. Playoff.
Unless Chelsea can go away to Napoli and then get a job. Yes, the second. I think that it's English Premier League teams no.
Yeah.
Until I saw the data from Deloitte now, like the 2 group games.
Say 5 out of the 8.
Yeah.
Automatic winning.
And the only person, the only team in Manchester City. So Arsenal are there, Liverpool, Tottenham, Newcastle, and Chelsea. 5. My preamble for an analysis would have been that English Premier League for this car, pushed their way to the top until I saw that data. So I needed more time to look at the revenue sources first. Once I saw data, it doesn't break down the revenue sources. But however, even the Deloitte's data now, Gabi Debana, under the top 4, a chunk of them the English Premier League for. It means that at the very least, they get enough money to come and play in this competition, buy the best of players to get a job. That's rich. That is the Champions League, and then Europa League matches will hold them. We have 100% record with the Europa League. It's and the coach now with the man. Most likely is going to follow the Europa League 100% record now. Keep our pen or paper, Michelle. Be ready, natural quotes, na betway quotes. Mofa quotes, everything I push our betway app in no cha, no when you be Eddie and Thursday near the room over the weekend. First one a BW 3473375 That is the first one. Second one a BW 347317E4 Third one a BW 34730603 Fourth one a BW 3472F438 Then the last one is BW 3472DD92 Right, Elba Insure TV on YouTube. Always make this screenshot on all of the social media handles. Fifi man for the being our honor. Which
Nhyira good fellow, and I say no matter how Chelsea team will be signed the Champions League, no. Oh my, me would.
Can't you good fellow say me just need that all with you farmer. Something I mean share.
So no, the aba. Oh na me Jane.
But the just will be there me that's with you.
Mate. And good fellow. Oh my, me will say be. Na also ada no problem. So obeso ra me ahe. In the team we are a Yantirozi. A group who the Champions League, no problem. It was a day never TV. Good morning, good fellow.